Hey folks! Yeah, we're back on the Huffy and we are going to ruin some Schwinn parts and weld them on a Huffy. Yeah. Yes, we are ruining this Schwinn 10-speed gear shifter, paddle shifter. Yeah, we're just going to ruin it. Here we go. It's fun. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Okay, that's just spare parts now, obviously. And get your peepers over here and we'll tell you what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, so we are going to pound this out on the anvil a little bit, maybe trim a little bit more, and we're going to weld this on the frame. Probably try to get rid of most of that circle part or do something interesting. And the only problem with welding this on the frame is if you ever have to replace this, which goes in there, which holds the shifter on, if you weld this on in such a way that you can't replace that, that's kind of a problem. At this point, I mean, you really don't care, like, how long would that last? At this point, you can get the bolt out right now. So it's goofy, it sticks out. There's a bit of a stretch to stick out. But we can still get the bolt out. In fact, we could probably trim another 1/4 inch off of this. So that's what we'll do. We'll mark this, we'll trim this another 1/4 inch off. And before we weld it on, we'll make sure that we can still get that bolt out. I don't know why I'm being so anal. It's probably going to be fine. We'll trim about that much off. And at that point, I think we'll go ahead and nip this. I think that's enough strength if we weld it both ways, just to go ahead and nip this completely off, like right here. Just get rid of that circle part completely and, you know, dress that up really good and scuff this paint off and then weld it on. And then what we'll have is a frame mounted shifter. So that'll be something like that. Imagine this circle part not here. It'd be something like that. It would be goofy. It's going to stick out. Probably have to get it pretty close up here to get it away from your leg. There's no real other way to do it except maybe go down below like that. I might do that, actually. That way you could still get the bolt out and it would get it further in. Yeah, that sounds like a better deal, actually. Yeah. Let's just see if the cable... let's see if the cable is going to be doing cable things. So something like this. Oh, come on now. Yeah, tucked in maybe, like I was saying. Tucked in below the frame. And will we still have the throw is the question. Would you still have the throw? Yeah, it's not going to hit anything. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, you're in first. Pop it up to fifth. Oh, I got the handle backwards. Oops. Let's try that again. You know, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. I think it goes like that. Right, it pulls that way. Right, here we go. Duh. Okay, something like that. Is that backwards? I got the wrong paddle? No, I had it right. Okay, sorry. There's little washers, paper washers that go in here too. And I think I will go underneath. That way I can get the bolt out and change that if I have to. And it's closer to the frame. Out here would be near your leg. So I'm thinking some more trimming and just weld, pick a spot and weld this thing. You know, through there. I know, bear with me. I'm just trying to mock this up a little bit so there's no surprises later, you know. So that's there, and that pops through. It's a little tight here. Yeah, that's a little tight. I think it's going to work. So when we end the cable from here, when we end the cable here, we're going to use a 3-speed part like this. This is not the one I'm using because this is the wrong diameter, but you will get the idea. We'll put this here like that. And then we'll use Schwinn 3-speed parts. There's a little plastic sleeve in there that holds it. We'll probably kick it up a little bit like that so the cable will go through and catch that. And then down it'll go to the wheel, to another 3-speed part. I know. And you go to the wheel. There's the 3-speed wheel right there. It'll go from that fulcrum holder. A straight cable will go down to this wheel and then across here. And then I'm going to weld. I'm going to take this, clean it up, and I'm going to break that out of there. It's just a riveted one anyway. I'm going to weld that onto there. And then I'm going to clamp this on the back stay really tight. And then it'll be a cable from there to here. So that's what I'm doing. It's Shimano parts, it's Schwinn parts, it's Huffy parts, and it's going to be fun. Now, there is one problem. I don't have the Schwinn diameter. I don't have any of these spare. And I don't really want to rob one off of a Schwinn bike. The diameter is correct, but you know, I'd have to take this one off, or that one, or, you know, these are all, 3 of these travelers are runners, and I don't really want to, you know, there's no real parts bike in the basement. I can take one off. All of the 3-speeds down there are complete, so maybe I'll go to see Fred. That's it. Hey, Fred, I need one of these, but for Schwinn. Yeah. I need one of those, Fred. Chop, chop. Hey, yeah, okay, so let's shut you guys off, and then I'll do some welding, and then I'll pop you back in. And, you know, like I said, we've already got this all scuffed up and messed up, so we might as well just keep going on the Nightmare and keep working on the Wendell Doomsday Iceberg bike. And yes, there is Shimano parts, there's Schwinn parts, there's Huffy parts. Oh, and I have another idea. I'll run this by you. Well, this is the same one. It's just a different side. What I was going to do, you can't weld on these. These are alloy, by the way. I learned the hard way. What I was going to do is grind this really flat. And then I have some letter stamps. And I was going to stamp a big H in there and then clear coat it. Yeah, you know, just finish off the shenanigans, you know. Just make it as worse as you possibly can. Anyway, so yeah, let me get to welding here. I'm going to shut you guys off. See you in a minute. Okay, Captain Ruin-a-Huffy here. Hope I didn't weld a clamp to that. Oh, just barely. Whew. So that's just tacked right now. And what I did was, obviously, I trimmed that more. I trimmed more of that off. And I drilled a hole so I can get in there and put a fat bead in that hole. And then I'll kind of tack around a little bit. Don't worry about that red Sharpie. And what I'm going to do is once that's tacked on, we'll test it and everything. But it looks like the chrome won't even discolor that much, and I'll just tape that off when I paint it. And it'll be a nice little accoutrement, like it'll be a chrome piece, like the fancy Bianchi frames and stuff where things like that are chromed and Campanola parts and stuff. So, yeah, it'll be a nice little accent. And yeah, let's finish this welding. Captain Ruin a Huffy here at your service. If you can ruin a Huffy, I'll do it. Wish I had done all this before I put the base coat on it. But no! Somebody wanted to paint it first. Yeah, we're almost there. Get you over here. So I'm going to come in now and try to get that hole and another tack there, and we're going to call it good. You'd be surprised how strong that is. Scooch this over here a little. Yeah, it's going to be kind of dicey getting in there. But Captain Ruin a Huffy can do it. Barely get in here. Yeah, it's going to be very dicey. And they can't see. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Maybe if it was tilted down more. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it might help. The welder won't fit through the tubes unless I take the shielding tip off. That's no fun. blobby mess, but it's underneath the frame. No one's going to see it. Just get this one part. There we go. It's a little blobby. It's a little blobby. I just couldn't get in there, you know. The welder won't fit in between here. It's a little blobby. I can get some of that with the grinder on the edge where it matters. And we'll let that cool. And then we'll hit that with a grinder. We can always bend this a little bit if we have to. And then we're going to pop it back up. You know what? Let's hit it with the grinder right now. I'm kind of done welding on the frame. That is it. The rest of the things can happen with clamps and one welded clamp, but that's not going to be on the frame. All right, let's kick this back the right way. Oh yeah, man, that's going to be so good. We're going to tape that off, see? When I finalize the paint on the frame, we'll tape this piece of chrome off. Ow, that's hot. That's really hot. Ow. That's what it looks like when you burn your finger. It wasn't too bad. Anyway, let's get a pointer. Woo! That was a doozer. Okay, so let's use a pointer. So we're gonna, when we finalize this frame, like when we start spraying that black and then the metallic and then the dribbly yellow stuff, we'll leave this chrome and we'll tape this off really good. And we won't worry about the bottom, obviously. We'll let that get painted. Let's grind that real quick. But I think it's gonna work. Try not to touch welded parts when they're hot. I make mistakes, so you don't have to. All right, let's grind that real quick. But I think this is pretty good. It's pretty much straight up and down vertical with the frame. Yeah. Let's massage this little baby up a little bit. That's what we do. I don't know how much of this I can get at, but as long as we get that edge that you can kind of feel under the frame when you're riding it, we'll be pretty good. I might be able to reach in with a zip disc because it's longer. There's this little sharp edge, not too cool. That's okay, I can deal with that. It's just this sharp stuff there. Let's get a pointer. If we reach in with a zip disc and just knock the top of that weld off and get rid of that sharp stuff there. because I can't reach in with the grinder, but I did pretty good there. That's nice. And we're trying not to discolor the chrome too much, because you put all this heat on the chrome and it's going to turn on you. That's a lot of hand filing, and that's sharp right there. I think I'll put the zip disc on and just kind of touch it. See if I can get it off of there. Let me shut you guys off. I'll be back in a second. Okay, we were able to massage it in there a little bit. I put the zip disc on and I came in like this. Really not what you do with a zip disc, but in a pinch you can kind of massage it in there. And then I took a little deburring tool. I took this thing and kind of dressed it up a little bit. It's not sharp anymore. It doesn't look great in here, but no one's ever going to see that. It looks good here. I really don't think anybody's going to notice that under the frame. And it's really strong and it's really on there. Let's flip it over and kind of just rough guide it in and make sure that I got my bread buttered on the right side, which rarely happens. Okay. I can see it's a little off. Maybe I can bend it. Let's put the shifter in and just see how the throw looks compared to the frame and all that jazz. Yeah, we're just going to throw it in with the washers like it's going in. Here's the bolt that now can be replaced because we did it this way. Yeah, it's a little off. I think we're going to have to bend it. Yeah, that's a little off. By God, my toast got buttered on the wrong side. Okay. We might just live with it. Yeah, that's way off. Oh, man. Dude. That is way off. Guys, you're supposed to watch me closely. Ladies and gentlemen, you're supposed to keep an eye on me because sometimes I blow it. It's off. Yeah, it's way off. Hopefully I can just bend the whole thing maybe without breaking it off the frame. Yeah, that's not acceptable. Oh, and I got this in wrong too. Dang it. There we go. Only put this thing on about 8 times the wrong way. Still can't figure it out. Okay. Alright, good. Guys, you're supposed to watch me. Where were you when I was welding this on? Screaming into the screen. You're supposed to make sure that's straight. Oh man, that's no good. Oh man. Oh, dude, I totally blew it. Great. It's way off. I meant to do it that way. That's so you won't hit your leg when you're pedaling. Do I dare bend that? We're going to try to bend the whole thing. Wow. That is noticeably off. That's not what I was going for. Oh, folks. I am not cutting that off of there. There's no way. I don't have another one to spare. I'd have to take it off of a complete bike that I'm building, and I'm not going to do that. Okay, so let's take this off. Let's take that off. Set this to the side for a minute. Oh, dear. Maybe. That might work. But you know what? I don't want this to bend out of shape. You can't ruin a Huffy. Did I say that? All right, I am not taking this off. We are not unwelding this. So here goes. I bent it straight, but now it's out a little. Wow, that is good. Okay, let's see how that does. All right, let's put this stuff back on and see if I've warped this or messed with it. And if this was the final assembly, you'd put a little dab of grease on these. But this is not, obviously, the final assembly, because somebody painted the bike before they did all these mods. You know, I like to do that. Makes you work harder. Okay, so let's put this on the right way this time. Right. Right? Nope. There we go. Okay. And the paper washer. And the cone. Oh, then the guard. Thundery today. What am I doing? What happened here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, it's better. I can tell it's better. Yeah, we are just going to live with that. I'm not cutting this off the frame. There's no way. Yeah, that is better. Oh, yeah, we can deal with that. Oh, yeah, Bob's your uncle. Okay, Captain Ruina Huffy at work here. That's a little straighter. That's not bad. Boom. I'd say it's a tiny bit off. That is not bad. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, boom. Yeah. That's not bad. I meant to do that, you know. Keeps it near your leg when you're pedaling. I think it's going to be fine. We didn't discolor this too much. I will take this all back off, tape this really good, and then we'll respray the whole frame, and then that'll be chrome. It'll be looking like a Bianchi or something. Okay, so we know that's good. Now, on this, I'm going to just use a Schwinn. This is the wrong clamp, but I'm going to use a Schwinn clamp, like right there. Let's get the cable and see. Let's get the cable and kind of off of that. Well, the cable, i.e. the piece of scrap stuff. Okay, so it's going to go, I guess it's going to go like this, huh? That's going to be odd. Did I blow it already? I'm going to go around like that. The brake cable is going to come out there. Well, that's yet to be determined if that's going to be too tight. Probably should have went that way more, or back that way. I think that'll probably work. Yeah. I'm going to spread this thing out a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, it's going to go through the tube. We'll put this here, right about there. We'll snip that off real quick, get an idea what's going on. Although I probably shouldn't, because I could use this white one for a front cable somewhere. Yeah, let's save that. Here's an old gray one. It's burnt up. I didn't want to ruin that that cable. because it was a new one. It wasn't a scrap one, it was a new one. So, okay, what did we say right there? Yep. And this clamp would almost work. It's just a slightly different diameter than Schwinn, unfortunately. But that's the idea there. With the Schwinn clamp, that would work. And then if we went from here to that wheel, that'll stay there, and I can just kind of eyeball from this wheel. You know, from here to the wheel. Well, that's great. I need the right clamp. I really need that Schwinn clamp right now. Okay, that kind of, you can kind of get the idea what's going on here. Okay, and then that'll go there. One thing I'll have to do for sure is change this. See, this is for a bike that had the wheel up there, you know, like it came from the shifter to the holder to the wheel, and then this little hook here holds it on there like securely so it doesn't pop off. We gotta undo that and switch it around to the bottom like a lady's bike. This is kind of like a lady's bike would be. Some boys' bikes had the shifter on the frame or the shifter here, and it would come along and go to the wheel somewhere on the bottom. Some of the ones on the frame like this would have the wheel up there. I didn't want to go with that. I want it down low, and I want the wheel. Let's see. This looks pretty good. I think this is going to be fine. We could get that as low as possible. Let's see if the chain guard is going to go on with that wheel. That's another issue. So let's just grab the chain guard real quick and just kind of chuck it. We're not going to bolt it on. We're just going to make sure it's okay. Better to find out now, you know, when I haven't painted the frame yet. You go to put all this stuff on, and this stuff doesn't fit because you've modified it, and, you know, that's the problem. And you can't get the tape off. Just use the wrong kind of tape. Okay, let's put this chain guard on, and we'll just kind of huck it on there and just make sure. I don't want any surprises once this is, you know, we're modifying this pretty heavily, and you go to put this together and nothing fits, and the chain guard. God, who put this tape? It's the wrong kind of tape. Use painter's tape, you cheap bum. Definitely the wrong type of tape. Okay. Okay, so there's the hole for the chain guard, and the other one's back here. So I'm just gonna like hold it up to that hole there and see if the wheel is gonna interfere. There's that. There's that. Oh, that's close to interfering. Oh, that tape's there. Oh, the tape's in the way. Okay, we gotta take the tape completely off to make sure. Dude. Maybe I'll spare you the agonizing moments of tape loss. Who put this tape on here? Holy moly. I'm really excited about their tape. Okay, we got most of it off. The main part was right there. Okay, so Pretty sure this is going to be okay. Okay, there's the hole there. Oh, I see the hole. There's some adjustment there too. Okay, this is up here. That's just about where this chain guard lives. And let's get a spring clamp on that. Thank goodness this isn't already final painted. Okay, that's basically where that chain guard lives. And now we're going to look in here. We can't really pull this tight because it's not really connected to anything. But I could probably tension it on one side and pull it. I know this is extreme, but you got to know now, you know. You have to know now. Okay, we're on the wheel. We pull it tight. It's going to clear. It is going to clear by a fat 1/8 inch. Okay, good. I'll show you guys. I'll try to show you. I can't pull it right now because I need 2 hands. But when it's tight, it's like about there. It wouldn't be the end of the world if it rubbed on this. I just don't like that. It's not good. I think we're golden. What the last thing we have to do? We can paint now. We're at a point where we can touch up the paint and do the speckle job. Maybe dial that up a little better. Yeah, we're good. We have one more thing to weld, and it's not on the frame. I need a Schwinn clamp, and I need to make a holder for back here, and that's going to be really easy. That is a no-brainer. We'll take this piece of junk that's riveted, we'll break that off, and we'll weld it. Well, that one's kind of rusty. We'll make sure this clamp fits on there really tight, and we'll scuff it up, and we'll just weld it like that on there. And there will be an adjuster too, so there'll be 2 adjusters back there. Or I could find something that doesn't have an adjuster and weld it on. But at this point, I don't really care. Could just weld this right on there too. You know, weld that right on the frame. Like that. But we're not going to do that. You know, we have standards here. Hey, okay, this is part 1 billion on the Huffy. Good vibrations. We are ready to paint. Unfortunately, it's raining outside, and this is not an inside kind of paint job. You have to put it up on a ladder. You have to get on a ladder and gravity feed the speckles. And this has to be touched up with the right color first, and a little bit, maybe a little bit under there, not much. Hey, we're doing pretty good. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, tell me I'm ruining a Huffy. Anything you got to do to keep me going. And a big shout out to the Who's Recycles guy. You know, I'm not quite rat rodding it like you, man, but you know, you were inspiring me. What you did to your Huffy Good Vibrations is definitely some good vibes coming out of that thing. Pop a wheelie. Okay, so yeah, we'll get a little plastic liner or something to cover that up. It'll be a little better looking. And yeah, I think the next video will be, I'm done mocking it up. I know the shifter's going to work now. I mean, this is just beautiful. That is just nice. I could sand that like I was talking about and punch H in there. We'll see. We'll see what I want to do. Okay, have a good day. Keep it positive. go and work on your junk. And if you don't have junk, I'll send you some.